Does a life without visible success still hold meaning? Stoner asks this question in an almost whispering voice. William Stoner is born to poor farmers in the American Midwest. Sent to university to study agriculture, he unexpectedly encounters literature, and it changes his life. He chooses literature and becomes a professor. It is not a heroic decision, but a quiet and sincere one. Stoner's academic career is modest. He does not rise in rank. He is not celebrated. He holds little power. Conflicts with colleagues and departmental politics leave him increasingly isolated. Yet he remains faithful to teaching literature. Stoner's marriage is unhappy. Misunderstanding and silence define his home life. Even his relationship with his daughter slips away. Love repeatedly fails him, and his world grows smaller. Still, he does not resent life. The strength of Stoner lies in its ordinariness. Stoner does not change the world. He does not even master his own life, but he never betrays what he once chose. He stays. The novel suggests that meaning is not found in recognition, but in what one loves and how honestly one lives. Stoner's life is quiet but not empty. Stoner challenges a success-driven culture. It asks whether invisible lives, uncelebrated careers, and private commitments might still be deeply meaningful. Now, let's explore how William Stoner's quiet life offers insight into modern career choices, self-worth in performance-driven societies, and the value of persistence without applause.
All right, let's get into this. I want to talk about the incredible, almost unbelievable story of a forgotten novel, a book that, decades after it was published, just quietly took over the world. It's a genuine literary mystery, and you know what? Today, we're going to solve it.
So get this. Back in 2007, the New York Times ran a piece that called John Williams's novel Stoner the perfect novel. I mean, wow, that's about as high as praise gets, especially for a book that, at the time, most people had never ever heard of. So what is all the fuss about?
You'd think it has to be about something huge, right? A sweeping epic, some thrilling adventure, maybe a world-changing romance. Well, not even close.
That's it. That's the whole story. It's just the life of a fictional guy named William Stoner who lives a completely, and I mean completely unremarkable life. There are no heroics, no grand achievements, just a life. And this, right here, is where our mystery really kicks off.
And the journey this book took? It's just wild. It came out in 1965 and was a total flop. It sold less than 2,000 copies and quickly went out of print. But then, almost 50 years later, it becomes this massive global sensation, not because of some big marketing push, but because readers just couldn't stop telling their friends, you have to read this book.
So that's the big question, isn't it? How on earth did this quiet little novel about a seemingly failed life capture the imagination of the entire world? Well, to find the answer, we have to dig a little deeper. We have to look past the surface of the story and find the philosophical clues hidden inside. First up, let's just look at the evidence. You know, if we were to open the case file on William Stoner and just judge his life by normal, everyday standards, well, it looks pretty bleak.
I mean, seriously, the guy is born into poverty, he gets stuck in a truly miserable marriage, he's constantly undermined at work by a rival, and he has to give up the one passionate affair that ever really brought him joy. By just about any measure, his life seems like a catalog of disappointments.
Which brings us right back to the heart of the mystery. If this story is so packed with sadness and failure, why do people find it so incredibly moving? Why do they call it inspiring? The answer, it turns out, isn't in what happens to Stoner. It's in how he lives through it all.
Okay, let's grab our first big clue. And for this one, we're going to dip into a little existentialist philosophy. Don't worry, it's the cool kind. We're talking about the French philosopher Albert Camus.
Camus had this huge idea he called the absurd. It's that feeling we all get sometimes when you're searching for some kind of meaning, some kind of purpose in the universe, and all you get back is silence. Just a cold cosmic shrug. Stoner's world is the perfect picture of this absurd universe.
But here's the amazing twist. For Camus, realizing that life might be meaningless wasn't a reason to despair. He saw it as a moment of absolute liberation. Think about it. Once you accept there's no pre-written script for your life, you're finally free to write your own.
So, if the universe doesn't care and there are no rules, how are we supposed to live? Do we just give up? No way. Camus had a powerful three-part answer for that.
First, he said, you revolt. You stare into that void and you refuse to give in. Second, you embrace your freedom. You're not tied to some false hope or destiny. And third, and this is the most important one, you live with passion. The goal isn't to live better, it's to live more. To fill your time with as much intense, authentic experience as you possibly can.
And that right there is William Stoner to his very core. His rebellion isn't loud, he's not starting a revolution, it's this quiet but fierce, unwavering passion he has for literature. In a world that offers him almost nothing, that is the thing he chooses to love, to give his life meaning. So every single lecture he gives, every book he gets lost in, every small moment of connection he manages to find, these are his acts of defiance. This is his way of filling that absurd, empty space with his own self-created meaning. He's quietly declaring to that indifferent universe, I am here, I am alive. But that's only half the story. Existentialism gets us close, but to really solve the mystery of William Stoner, we need one final piece of the puzzle. And this one comes from a much, much older philosophy.
Let's talk about Stoicism. The ancient Stoics, guys like Marcus Aurelius, believed that we can't control what happens to us on the outside. But, and this is a big but, we have total control over our internal response. The whole game is to maintain your inner peace and your integrity, no matter what chaos the world throws at you.
And here it is. This is our smoking gun. In his own private notes, the author John Williams described his main character with one single crucial word: stoical. He literally built Stoner from the ground up to embody this philosophy of quiet endurance.
So everything that looks like weakness on the surface, his refusal to fight back against his rival, his quiet endurance of that terrible marriage, it's not weakness at all. It's a profound form of strength. He is refusing to let the ugliness of the world corrupt who he is on the inside. He is preserving his integrity, and that, my friends, is the ultimate Stoic victory.
So let's put it all together now. When you combine the existentialist's call to live with passion, and you add the Stoic's focus on inner endurance, the mystery of Stoner's life is finally beautifully solved.
As he's lying on his deathbed, Stoner doesn't look back and see a long list of failures. He sees a life that was defined by the things he chose to value. He wanted to love literature and teaching, and he did. He wanted to experience love, and he did. He's not measuring his life by what the world gave him, but by whether he was true to himself.
And that's the verdict. Stoner's life wasn't a failure at all. It was a triumph. A secret one, maybe hidden from the rest of the world, but it was real to him. He created his own meaning through his passions, and he protected it with his stoic integrity. And that is the secret to this novel's incredible power.
And that, I think, is why this book resonates so deeply with us today. It's a blueprint. It tells us that you don't need to be famous or rich or powerful to live a deeply meaningful life. We can find that meaning right here, right now, in our own quiet, ordinary lives, through the things we choose to love and to protect. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? In a world that can feel so chaotic and indifferent sometimes, what are the quiet passions that give your life its meaning? What is your secret triumph?